Just like to offer a big shout out to Touchdown Digital, the sponsor of this week's video. Hello everybody, Glenn Samuel here. Today, this is the first video in a series that I'll be doing on, it's titled Capturing the Image. And over the next few weeks you'll see photographs that I've taken or images that I've taken recently, like this one here. And what I'll do, I'll pull it up on the screen and I'll explain to you my thought process and what I have to do to take shots like this or create images like this. This is the first one. This is the first video of a series, as I've just said. So each week I'll be doing capturing of the image videos for this channel. So we'll start with this one. This is the old church out at the Oaks, which is in southwestern Sydney, and it's a very old church. A beautiful timber structure that's being looked after. It's still a church that gets used once a week. I think it's on a Sunday morning, but it's very historic. And next to it, you'll see here it's a cemetery, and it's a very old area, the Oaks, and hence the old church. Now, with this image, I knew that leading up to that morning, it was a midweek morning, that there was going to be clouds and quite dense light. And that got me thinking as to why don't I shoot this in black and white or monochrome. Now, most people will take a colour photograph and will then switch it over to black and white. Now, in theory, that's okay. However, I always set my camera to monochrome, and the camera will take that shot in both black and white and colour. But at least it shows you what the image is going to look like in black and white or monochrome. So as you can see here on this side here, the light had swung around to my right hand shoulder, and it was coming around, and it lit perfectly up the side of the church. You can see some shadows up here. I could have cropped these trees out, but I didn't want to, because this is what I call natural framing, where I'm using the trees, these gum trees, as a natural frame. That's the border of the image. Now, over here, you'll see that I lost a bit of detail in the actual entrance to the church here. So what I had to do, I had to take 5 bracketed exposures. So I took one normal shot, which is 0 on the light meter. And then I took one shot at 1 stop less, or -1 stop. Then a second shot -2 stops. And then I went to the right-hand side and exposed 1 stop over and 2 stops over. And then I combined those images in Lightroom. And then they were put through Affinity Photo, and then they were put through another program that I use just to clean up the image, and that was Topaz AI. That gets rid of a lot of grain. Now, with black and white photography, you expect a bit of grain, and there is a bit of grain in the entrance of the church, the entrance here. But what I like about this image is the way the light was working. It was coming across from the right-hand side, as it went over my shoulder, and it was coming across here. And it just absolutely works brilliantly. Now, with the black and white photography, such as an image like this or a scene like this, there's one thing you need, well, actually 2 things. You need fairly good, strong light, but you need clouds, because that shot would look completely different if that sky was just completely grey or white. So by combining 5 images into one image, that is the end result. Now, as you can see, there's some shadows. There's shadows coming from this tree over here. There's a shadow from the tree there, and there's shadows from this tree here. The thing with black and white photography is you need clouds, strong light, you need a lot of contrast, and you also need shadows. And I managed to just get that right on that particular morning. Now, I researched this old church, and I looked at other photographs, and they're all taken in colour, both early morning but more of a late afternoon, and it looked quite good late afternoon, which got me thinking. So what I intend to do, I intend to go out late at night, because you can get access to this church through a gate, and I'm going to light paint the church at night, because there's no, even though it's a rural road, there are farm houses, or there are big acreages there, but there's no street lights, so there's no light pollution that will hit this church. The only light that'll hit this church will be my torch as I'm light painting. But that's the overall image there, with the light coming from the right, lighting up the roof and the side of the church with the shadows and the clouds. This image was deliberately built. It was made with a lot of different factors. So when you're out in the field and you're thinking, well, look, the sky's pretty rough looking, it's cloudy, it's grey, there's a few shadows, try black and white, because, as I said, black and white requires a lot of contrast. Now, with colour photography, contrast can be an issue, but with black and white photography, you got margin for error there, and you can use the contrast to your advantage. So that's how I did it. It was a five image shot, and combined in Lightroom to make the final image. I have actually printed this one out, and you can see there's a big border. That's actually how the print looks. I printed that out around about A3 plus size, which is perfect for the frames that I have for this particular photograph. But yeah, that's how I did it. But more importantly, think about, if you're going to go out and do something like this, think about your light, your clouds, the contrast. As I said, you want a lot of contrast with black and white, and the shadows, because it all blends in. Because with black and white, we don't often see it. We see everything in colour these days. So when a nice black and white image appears in front of you, or a scene appears in front of you that you think could be making a good black and white photograph, well, it's quite unique. These photos are unique, and I'm very pleased with this one, how it worked out that particular morning. A lot of planning went into this. I waited for about 2.5 weeks, eventually getting the light and the clouds. I did go out there a few days during that week this shot was taken. This shot was taken on a Thursday, and I went out a few days early, and it just wasn't right, so I didn't even get the camera out of the bag. But the day I went out there, it was perfect, absolutely fantastic, and I knew straight away that I had to take it. That's how I took it, 5 image exposure, blended into one photograph by using the clouds, the light, the shadow, and the high contrast. So that's the first video in this series. Let me know what you think. Have you ever thought about black and white or monochrome? You're willing to give it a go and give it a try? But let me know what you think about this image, and also let me know about the idea of doing these videos once a week for everybody on capturing the image. So thank you for joining me on this one. Put your comments down below. I'll certainly get back to you as soon as I can. For the people that have subscribed to the channel, thank you. It means a lot to me. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and the bell next door so you don't miss anything. So till next time, my name's Lynn Samuel. You've been watching Sniper Photography, and as I always say, be nice to yourself, family and friends, but most of all, you keep shooting, keep smiling. Bye for now.